late in the afternoon, in a small room with faint sunlight shining through the window. Mr. William lay on an old bed, his breathing weak, but his eyes still shining with the light of a man who had lived a long life. The room was so quiet that the slow ticking of the wall clock could be heard clearly, as if counting the last seconds of a human being who had gone through many seasons of rain and sunshine. By the bedside, Sarah, his only granddaughter, clutches her thin hand, calluses telling the story of a lifetime of hard work. Her tears fell, but she tried to hold back, not wanting to let him see her weakness. Mr. Williams smiled, his trembling hand gently wiping the tears from her cheeks. "My dear, don't cry. He lived long enough to know that life is a beautiful journey, even when it comes to hard times." His voice was hoarse because he was tired, but each word was still gentle and deep. Sarah sobbed. She squeezed his hand tighter. "But Grandpa, I'm not ready. I don't want to lose you." Mr. William looked at her, his eyes full of love. "You know, when I was your age, I was also afraid of losing the people I cherished. But then I realized no one really leaves as long as we remember them, as long as we keep them in our hearts." Sarah bowed her head, tears streaming down her cheeks. She recalled the childhood days when he would take her on his old bicycle, when he taught her how to plant trees in the small garden, when he told her old stories every night before bed. Each memory flooded back like a slow-motion film, making her heart ache. "Do you have any regrets?" she asked, her voice trembling. Mr. Williams smiled gently, his eyes gazing far away as if looking back to the past. "No, my dear. I have loved. I have been loved. I have lived a full life. If there is one thing I want you to remember, it is this: live life to the fullest. Love, dare to dream. Do not be afraid." Sarah nodded, but her heart was still heavy. She wanted to say something more, but her throat tightened. Mr. William gently held her hand one last time. "You will be fine, my little girl. Time will help you understand that parting is not the end, but just a goodbye." The room became silent. The wall clock was still ticking, but Mr. William could no longer hear it. A light breeze passed, shaking the window curtains. Sarah still held his hand, tears falling quietly, but she suddenly felt warm in her heart, because she knew he was still here in her memories and every beat of her heart.